and getting to Ireland here, I think after a year, I went on to do like a travels and tourism course, and I learned about Irish culture and their history and heritage. I went on to do another degree in hotel and leisure management. Then I started to work in customer service. At the time, I also worked in as a waitress and a few other voluntary work that I've been doing. So at the moment, I founded a group, an ethnic minority group here in Ireland called the Ethnic Minority Hub, where we look after each other, where we support each other. And I'm also presently the Longford Green Party Island representative for County Longford. So that's definitely to me. Yeah.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit more about the group that you founded, the Minority Hub? What does it represent? What is it all about?
Brilliant, thank you. And so that was born out of my own personal experience. While I told you about my time in the university here in Ireland, and also working in customer service and all the places that I've worked in Ireland, I've had experiences that gave birth to that inspired me to start a group to support our people, because I've always said this to people, that I was wondering at one point that if with the little education that I have, if I still struggle so much to be able to get
Mhm.
to do some some things and to even have access to information, and this is so difficult for me as someone with that little knowledge. I just wonder what that will be for other African or other minority people like myself that don't even know somehow even how to do emails, or even how to write letters, or even that are not very good academically, because at the end of the day, we know that we're from a background where it's not everybody that had the opportunity to go to school, and not even everybody can even speak English. It is an English speaking country, and things are
Yeah.
so difficult that way for anyone like that. So I just felt it was necessary to have ourselves, to have this group, so that those that have those strengths, they'll have those knowledge, I have access to information like myself, will be able to share with others and to be able to support them in any way that we can. And that's what we've been doing for the past going to 2 years now, being there for each other, empowering each other, supporting each other, learning from each other, and most importantly, giving each other that power of knowledge, of giving each other the access to information and to jobs and all the things like that. So that's what the group is about, basically.
Awesome. That sounds very good. Empowering each other with the knowledge, it's so crucial, especially at this time, and social media, as it is one of the greatest tools to do just that. So we're going to talk more about this great initiative that you will be able to put together, with other people as well. But again, we are not alone. It's not only two of us tonight. We also have another lady which we're going to introduce right now. And brace yourself, here she is. Hello,
Hello.
hello. How are you doing? Can you introduce yourself? Your name is
I'm doing good,
Francine.
thank you. Yes, that's a French name. I'm doing good. My name is Francine EGBALOGBALO. My husband is Punga. I have Francine EGBALOGBALO Punga. I'm originally from DRC Congo, and I've been in Ireland for 3 years now and a half. So yeah, so far so good. I'm on healthcare assistant. That's what I'm doing. So just trying to give back to the community and yeah, to do my best. So far so good.
Awesome. Giving back to the community, that's what we stand for. We don't just come in here to
Yeah.
take, but we take, we learn, and we give back to the community. Well said, Francine. So your name is French. Are you French yourself, or where are you originally from? From the
I'm
DRC,
originally
you
from
said.
DRC Congo.
All
Yes,
right.
yeah.
Okay,
So
very
that's
good.
I
And how long are
speak
you in
French.
Ireland?
I'm here in Ireland only for 3 years and a half. Yeah, 3 years and a half.
Oh, wow. 3 years and a half, and your English is quite very, very, very clear, very, very clear. And for having that mindset of giving back to the community is really great. It's a great initiative. So tonight we're going to talk about the power of integration, and I see having that mindset of giving back to the community, that is so crucial, as an empowerment for immigrants, or for to integrate. So can you tell me, what is integration? What is the power of integration? Either one of you can
For
answer.
me, the power, yeah, the power of integrating in the country, it's just everyone. I have to give back to the whole community, no matter where you come from, no matter the religion that you believing in. So as long as I'm not sitting down just waiting for social or someone to come and help me, because first of all, me, in when I arrive in Ireland with my children, I really experienced that there's a warm welcoming, that they did welcome me and my children. So that really touched my life. So I want to just to do my best to integrate there, because I find people in the community that are very good people that are here in Ireland. Irish people are very good. So yeah, I just want to do my best to go in, and the power of integrating it, it's very important to every community, and to have a strong economical and more exclusive society, that I can say. Yeah.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And Catherine, what is your take on that?
Oh, that's really good. What Sister Francine have just said is powerful, because you see, it's just two ways, in a way that when you come into a country, you're coming from your own country. And this is a message that I believe that most of us Africans need to learn, is that we're coming from our own countries because we feel that things are not done the right way there. Some of us come out here because they're running for their lives. So some are not doing well, financially and all of that, or one issue or the other. It's the reason you come out here, or you just want to give your children a better life and all of that. But in coming into that country, like Sister Francine said, you don't just come and exist. You don't come and be ungrateful to the community that are giving you that security and that benefit, and that you have to be able to, you have to be able to participate in that community. Giving back, very good, like giving back. And it's so good that you're going to work, it's so good that you're contributing to the economy, but there's another huge aspect that our people are not thinking about, is the fact that you have to also know that all these lovely things that we're seeing in this country, there are certain people that are sitting there and putting these plans and these policies together, and are making sure that we have the good roads, and making sure that our needs are all met. There are people that are responsible for making sure that these things happen. And the truth is that there's a huge spirit of community in Ireland, where everyone is working towards making sure that they have a good community for themselves. You have to be part of that. And because you need to learn about the culture of the people that you're living with. If you don't learn about them, you're just doing your own thing. And that way you are not integrating, because you're just living in your own world, even though you're still living in the same country. You don't get yourself informed, and you're not participating in knowing the people that you've come to live with. And this is the reason that we're starting a program very soon, because I believe that migrants should learn the culture of Ireland. They really need to learn about the people of Ireland, their
Absolutely.
values,
Yes.
what they like. You need to learn. You need to show them that you're actually learning about them. Everybody feels proud to know that somebody's taking interest, to know about their friend. Even if you're having a friendship, your friend is so happy when they know that you're even going to the extra mile of learning about them, how to please them better, and why they are also pleasing you. So it's a two-way thing. We're
Yes.
taking by having this comfort, we have to give back by volunteering, by participating, by coming out to learn about them, participating in their own activities, their cultural activities, the things they do apart from jobs. You have to also go out and do that and let your children come out and do activities and all of that. You have to be involved in the society. So that's all part of integration. Um, and that's
Absolutely,
something we really need to look
absolutely.
into.
Yes, absolutely. And can you tell me about what kind of barriers can we encounter for integration? What kind of integration barriers? Because it doesn't happen that smoothly. You know, it's not like okay, you come in a country and then everything is smooth, everyone is open. You know, like Francine said, you know, everyone is good. It doesn't happen all the time. There are people also encounter pushbacks. You know, encounter discrimination, encounter rejection, encounter a lot of things which they feel kind of demotivated in order to integrate. They actually segregate themselves from the people that they meet in the country, and then they build their own small group, small society where they feel safe. Can you tell me a little bit more about what kind of barriers are there, that prevent people to integrate that easily? That question
100.
is for both of you.
Brilliant.
For me, I would
100.
say that. Oh, you go for.
Mr. Francine, you can go first. Don't worry, go first.
For me, I would say for me, I want to I let my mind to be free. I don't see any barrier because there's most of people are very friendly and most some of people they will show you that you're not really welcome here. So for me, I go for positive people. I go in a place where I feel like okay, I don't want to put it in my mind because it's going to destroy all my body. What am I going to do? I'm going to do my best to find the people that are positive, people that are telling us that you're doing good. And the only thing that I find in Ireland here, it's people are really and they will encourage you, like even at work, everywhere. You feel like they are telling you that you're doing good. Oh, you're a good woman. Oh, well done. That's motivation. That's what I need. That's what I want. So I ran away for the negative people. I go to the positive one. Those one want us to go. Those one don't mind about our culture and stuff. They just feel us like you're welcome and you can do it. You're a good woman. You're doing good. So there's a big challenge and the barrier that you just have to put in your mind that I have to cut it off and go for what I want and go for what I came from. Because I remember in Africa we didn't know in Congo especially we didn't know about all the culture and stuff. For us, all colors or skin was just like a person that we see, and I don't really put it in my mind because I know it's going to destroy me personally. It's going to
Mm,
destroy me, so I
mm.
don't see it like that here for me.
Awesome. Yeah. So you don't see color, or you see color,
No,
but you
I don't.
navigate through it in order to go for your goals, right?
Of course, of course. Even
Okay.
at work, to be
Mm,
a healthcare assistant, and some of you can see that okay, your colors and where you coming from, they want to know. So I'm like, yeah,
mm,
I'm from Africa, and some of the clients are very friendly. They're like, oh, I've been in Kenya. Oh, I've been in Uganda. And you speak. So when they speak like one of the African language, I feel so excited. I feel so good. And then I want to teach them more about Africa. Okay, Congo is not Africa, but it's in a part inside Africa. Africa is a continent. So that's the people that I want to be with, not to see like, okay, no, that's no for me.
so give them a little bit of
Yeah,
geographical and a bit of history of Africa.
of course,
Yeah, yeah,
of
that's one of
course,
the
yeah,
ways of bridging the gap, about because a lot of people think
yeah.
that Africa is one big country. When they see a dark-skinned person, okay, you are from Africa,
Hmm.
and
Of course.
unfortunately, the images that many have from Africa, about Africa, are negative. When the only images they have is the poverty, and they have images about poverty, diseases, all those
Yes.
degrading images. That's what they have, and they don't know any better. And when they see somebody who comes from that part of the world, especially for those who've never been there, they only see those images
Mm.
on TV, on ads, people asking for money, for donations and everything. So they associate, all dark skinned people who come from Africa, that everyone came from those circumstances. So then the respect is a little bit lower, because they think, those people, they came in here, for,
For money. Mm.
yeah, for economical reasons. You understand? So,
Mm.
and I think for me, that is one of those one of systematic thinking that can cause barriers for integration. What do you say, Catherine?
Mm.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with anymore. You guys are dead right. And the truth about the barrier issue is that, like it or not, and you can appreciate the very nice people in the society, but we cannot ever forget or be oblivious of the fact that there is systematic racism in the system. We cannot forget that, if even if we're able to navigate our way, and if we're able to just ignore the signs and the reactions and the fact that some of our minority people are in workplaces, and they cannot progress in their career. They are not given the training equal right like other colleagues that are Irish, or that are the other, and they are not given that opportunity to grow and to get to the level where they are able to develop themselves in that kind of way. We cannot forget that things like that exist. We cannot forget that it is difficult for people from minority backgrounds to get to attain some certain level. We can't forget that those things are
Yeah.
happening. We're hearing those stories, and one thing that I must say that is important to me is that it is often that we can think that just because we are able to ignore it, that it's just going to go away, or we're going to feel better. But the truth about it is that we should always be striving to build a better future for our children. It's not all about us now, because I always say this to people that I personally, I can, if someone challenge me, if someone tells me things that I feel is insultive to my person, I can deal with that person in my own verbally. I can tell the person that, I can't take that from you. You shouldn't talk to me like that, and all of that. But the truth about it is that these kind of barriers that are really, some of the barriers that are there are really dangerous for the development of our children. And if we ignore it and we just get by, and we just avoid it like it's not happening, we are doing exactly the same thing that we did in Africa, where we ignored our leaders until they destroyed all our countries, and now we have to run out to go to other countries in order to get a good life for our children. And then we bring those children here, and we actually ignore the same kind of a pushback that is coming from the society. But if it's just a pushback where someone is only talking to you and you talk back, that's okay. But if it's a pushback that has to do with their life and their development, their academic growth, or their growth in profession, or their growth in being represented in the areas that are very crucial, now we shouldn't be ignoring that, because we don't want to leave them to go through the same racism in secondary, in
Yeah.
college, the same
Mm.
racism when they are looking for job. They are not giving job because of their name, because of their looks. We cannot
Mm.
ignore that. This is too much to ignore. You can't ignore that, because you can be comfortable today. You can think that it's okay, that you can, for your children. Remember, a good parent is supposed to be building a future for their children. You're supposed to be
Absolutely.
passing on wealth and passing on knowledge and passing on a better future for your children. maybe some of us, like myself, if you're anybody like me, I want to one day when I retire go back to my country and be and stay with my own people. But I don't. But I want. But the children that I have in Ireland that are growing, I want to be able for the time that they want to stay here when they're still young and trying to get their life. I don't want them to go through the same thing that I saw when I went to college. I don't want them to go through what I saw when I was working. I want them to have an equal opportunity, and by getting involved with the people that are working towards achieving that equality, achieving that right for us, by coming out and joining them and fighting with them to get rid or to reduce racism in the system that we know is there in the system. It is there. It's there.
Yes,
It's there
absolutely.
everywhere. We
Yes.
should not ignore.
Yeah.
So we have to join them because we cannot leave them to solve the problem for us. They are really wonderful Irish people, like Francine has said, that are out there really fighting to fighting against racism, fighting against inequality, and all of that. And we should be there joining them because we are the ones that have the problem, but we are the ones that are ignoring the problems and going to work. But our children need a better future. Our children need a better environment when they go to college. Our children need a better environment when they go to look for jobs. So
Yes.
we cannot, no, the barriers are there in the system. There are a lot of far right rising, and their activities are really growing in Ireland, and they are really against migrants and against minority people. And we cannot ignore their activities because they're spreading bad images and bad stories about us. So we have to
Absolutely.
show something different. We have to come out and show something. We have to join force with the people that are fighting for us, and we also have to show with our own attitude, with the way we behave, the way we participate. We have to show something different. So that's I believe that's my take on that.
Okay, that's a very good take. That's a very good take. But you are a bit of ahead of us because we are still going through, to try to navigate through the barriers that we can encounter. And one of which you have already listed is racism, xenophobia, and discrimination across key services, and labor market, of course, So and we're also going to talk a little bit about what kind of social barriers are there, a part of the discrimination and xenophobia. What kind of social barriers, and how did you navigate through them?
And should I go, or should Sister Francine go?
I don't know.
No,
You
you
guys are
go.
free.
Okay. Yeah. When I talk about the reason that we started to create things like our magazine, and we started to create basketball team and all the clubs, is because I identified the fact that there's a lot of social activities that our young people are not participating in. Um, some time ago, a young African boy in Westport, or Westford, so was poured an acid. He was playing football with the other team and two young boys, Irish boys, poured him acid, and that boy has gone now to the United States to continue his life. He never got justice. The mother never got justice. If I talk about it, I just feel like crying. I feel so bad about things like that because it's just so unfair, that would happen to a young boy like that, and that he will not get justice, on he will just leave this country just to have his peace and have his life. That is painful. And something like that comes to us African parents as a shock. I don't want to think that my son will go to play football. I will be treated like that. I wouldn't want that to happen. So if we see something like that happening and we don't even see it, it wasn't in the news. It
Mm,
wasn't. There was no. It wasn't. There was no. Nobody actually went out to. This is a huge issue. Some young boys poured another young child an acid, damaged his face, and that wasn't really in the news. There was no justice for that boy, and I
absolutely.
would think
Yeah.
for myself that I would be afraid as an African parent to
mm,
send my son to participate in football like that. I would be afraid, you know, and something like that. And I know that things like that is not like it's everywhere, because there's some other counties and some other clubs that are so welcoming. But again, if something like that wasn't, even the way that particular issue was handled, it's enough to make some people go out of it. Like you said yourself, that there are some barriers that make some of our people want to just stay in their own world, because they don't want to go out there, because they know they get the bad look. They know
yes,
they get the reaction when they, somebody don't necessarily have to tell you the words. Their action can tell you as well, and that can push people back. So those kind of social activities, when you go into some certain restaurants and it feels as if, what is this person doing here? Somebody's not telling you the word, but you can see the body language, you can see the way you're
body
treated.
language, look, yes,
Yeah,
absolutely,
I, I,
yes,
I have
yes,
gone into, I have got to a
mm,
place that I walk. I told you the place that I walk, and I have brought some guests into that restaurant, and the waitress served all of them and left me out. You know, you can see the whole body language. I waited for a while thinking it was just a mistake, until I just went to her and like, I gave you my order even before everyone. Why didn't you bring my food and all of that? The reaction from her, all of that. I, I shouldn't read meaning into it, but how can you not read meaning into that? You know, and
mm,
things like that for someone who is not, because the way that I choose to treat that is to not go into my shell. I choose to go into the environment where I can fight and do the right thing to change that from happening to our future generation. That's what I choose to do. But some people will choose to, like, I'm not going there next time.
yes,
I'm
absolutely,
not going
yes,
to. I'll just leave my. In fact, I'm not going to the restaurant. I'm not going to the football. I'm not going to their gathering. I'm not going to their pub. I don't want to be giving that kind of reception or that kind of look. I just want to have the food in my house, or just do my own party in my own way. You know,
yes,
so
yeah. Those are some kind of things that prevent us or prevent immigrants to integrate. Those negative public attitude and unbalanced media stories that can both act as significant barriers to social, cultural, and political integrations. So this kind of a behavior, this kind of a treatment, this kind of unwelcoming attributes that certain individual can impact in our lives. It can be very crucial, and those are really strong barriers, and like you said, like you rightfully said, that can affect also the further development of our children, because like in the other show, when we were talking about identity and the cultural mindset in the young adults in Ireland, we talk about the fact that there is a certain subculture that our young people now are having, because we as parents, we did not we weren't born here, we came, so our children are born here, they are growing up here, so they have these two mindsets. They have a bit of African mindset, but they also have the Irish mindset. But then again, in the fully African culture, they are not accepted because they don't have the full African mindset, because there are certain things that they accept, there are certain things that they repel. And also in Irish society, because of the way they look like, so they are not really automatically accepted. So what happened? They create their own subculture, which is, it can be from the Irish perspective impenetrable, and from African mindset also impenetrable. So that's why we are talking about losing the generation battle. So that generation now, which we are seeing right now in places like Balbriggan, where they actually surnamed it Black Rigan, because what is happening there, the flux and the growth of the minority in that region, the lack of integration, they actually embrace the wrong pattern of the Irish, subculture, which is, criminality, and now, just talking about the social barriers, those young people, you know, the way they are spoken about in the media is completely different than the Irish criminal circle. You know, so when they talk about our young people, the first thing they identify is the color of their skin. They
Mm.
say, you know, they call out the color of their skin, and then they emphasize on the criminal activity that they do. But when it comes about, you know, an Irish person who does exactly the same crime, so there is no emphasis on the personality. It's more the crime itself. It's more watered down. So there is no real fairness in terms of describing the crime, and also, you know, you know, and also talking about the personality of the person who did the crime. So, and that can be also very unfair, like you rightfully said.
100%.
Yeah. So, Francine, my question to you is: even though you have encountered, you know, a positive mindset in terms of, you know, how you have been received, you know, if you ever experienced any pushback, any social barrier pushback in your own experience?
So far in Ireland, I would say no, like a few, I would say it. But I agree with what Sister Catherine said. You know what, dear Daniel, I always tell my kids to talk about that. For me, let me go back where I'm coming from. You say my English is, I passed from South Africa. I was there for 12 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So from Congo, my father was in the army, and I sees a lot in my life, and that's why I said that I really run away from that. But what Sister
Oh,
Catherine said, that we need to stay for our kids, and say, I always tell my kids
Yeah.
every time when they come from school, are you happy? What is happening to your school? Is anybody bullying you? No, mommy. Okay, you have to stand for yourself. Okay, why? My father was in the army in Africa, in Congo. Very good man, love his country. He wanted to serve and to be there, but he died suddenly because he was very abused after the second president was in. And then I moved to South Africa. You know the xenophobia things that you say right now.